Hey everyone, it's your girl Kareen and I'm back for another video. Today's video, I'm going to be doing a Q&A of my most asked questions concerning me combing out my locks after being locked 6 years. If you'd like to hear those questions, please stay tuned for the video. All right, welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Kareen, and I'm so excited to have you. To my new subscribers, thank you so much for joining the family. I'm so grateful that you are here. And to my OGs, you know what it is, girl. Let's get started. As many of you know already, I combed out my locks after having a lock journey or being on a lock journey for the last 6 years. And I wanted to see what questions you all wanted to ask me. So let's go over the questions that I received. If you see me looking at my phone, that means that I'm just going over the questions that I received in not even in particular order, but just some questions that I received on my social media. If you're not following me on Instagram, please do so at Kareen_Gardner. And I do follow back, y'all. Follow your girl on Instagram because a lot of content is posted on Instagram first. So if you're not following me, please go ahead and follow me on Instagram and follow me on Facebook as well. I love to see you. I love to see your pictures and stuff, your families and stuff like that. All right, let's get started. Question number 1 comes from Jaquette. Shout out to Jaquette. Hey girl, hey. So the question she asked was, how much hair did you lose? Listen to me, y'all. Your girl lost a Marshall's bag full of hair. And actually there's a little bit more hair that I did not add to this that I just swept up and just threw away. But this is the amount of hair that I lost. I'm gonna let y'all peek into this bag real quick. And I kept it just for this video, y'all. Woo, woo. Y'all, look at this. This is the amount of hair that I lost, y'all. It smells like conditioner. It smells like conditioner, but this is the amount of hair that I lost, y'all. I lost a ton of hair. Keep in mind, I was locked 6 years, right? And so our hair naturally sheds about 100 strands a day. So y'all can do the math. 365 times 100 times 6. Mighty God today. So I lost a lot of hair. But when you're thinking about locks, locks is dead hair. It is shed hair. So it's not really losing hair because that hair was going to drop out anyway. It was going to naturally, it came to the end of its life cycle. So it was going to come out anyway. So it's really just dead hair that was going to fall out. And it just, because my hair was locked, it came into the locks instead of coming out. So that is what built my locks, was the shed hair. So that's the way I look at it. So I'm kind of like telling myself I really didn't lose it. It was already gone anyway. It was just a part of me that needed to fall out anyway. So that's the amount of hair that I lost, y'all. Next question. Question number 2. What made you want to end your lock journey? This is from Andrea. Shout out to Andrea. Hey girl. She said, what made you want to end your lock journey? You were definitely my inspiration to get locks. However, I know this is not the end of the journey for me as well. So to answer her question, what made me want to end that lock journey? I did do an in-depth video on the reasons why I combed out my locks, but I will answer that question briefly here in this video. Basically, I felt like it was time. Just like I felt like it was time for me to start my lock journey, I felt like it was time for me to end my lock journey. I felt like in those 6 years, I grew and evolved to the point where I felt like it was time for me to pivot. And so whenever I feel that way, I follow my heart, I follow leading of Holy Spirit, and I pivot. I do just that. I really feel like I'm in a season of my life where I am transitioning in all areas of my life. I'm transitioning into something new and something exciting. And I believe that with this transition, God has something huge in store for me. So that is the biggest reason why I decided to end my lock journey. And another reason why I just miss my loose natural hair, y'all. I have to be honest with you. I just really miss my loose natural hair. And I believe that it was a part of the journey that I needed to get back to. So I hope that answered your question. Thank you for your question, Andrea. Question number 3. This was from Miss Lee_VSG. She said, why? She said, they were gorgeous and you were my inspiration. Thank you so much. And I believe I just answered that question on why I decided, but I appreciate you following me, Miss Lee_VSG. but it was just time. It was just time. Question number 4 is, you inspired me to begin my lock journey. Oh, I'm so happy to hear that. I'm so grateful to be an inspiration. And a journey, it says, you inspired me to begin my lock journey, and I am thankful for the helpful tips you have shared with us along the way. Will you ever lock your hair again in the future? Oh, what a great question. I definitely hate to never say never, but at this point in my life, no, I will not be doing another lock journey. And that's just my personal preference. I think that with me into this lock journey, it was the beginning of me embracing my loose natural hair again. So I don't think that I'll ever commit to a lock journey again. Number 1, baby, I'm not combing out another set of locks. I'm just not about to do that. I'm not doing it again. That's really the reason. If I could just be honest with you, I am not going to cut out another set of locks or comb out another set of locks. For me, I would never want to do a big chop again, so I would never commit to another lock journey because I like the length of my hair. My goal now is long, well, not even long, healthy hair, and so I do not want to commit to another lock journey because I do not have the patience again to comb out another set of locks. So to answer your question, no ma'am, no ham, no kilogram, in the words of my son. Thank you for your question. The next question is, are you thinking about relocking your hair in the future? That question came from Holly. No, I am not thinking about committing to another lock journey. Me personally, I would not want to comb out a set of locks to go back into another set of locks. I understand why women do that or why people do that in general, because maybe they are not happy with their parting system. They're not happy with the size of their locks. They feel like maybe their locks are thinning, or they're just not happy with their locks overall. So sometimes people do comb them out to restart the journey. But as of right now, as of today, no, I will not be going on another lock journey because, like I said, I would not be combing out another set of locks. All right. Thank you for your question, Holly. Let me find the rest of these questions. And if I did not answer, if you have a question that I did not answer in this video, I can do a part 2 to this video, okay? Let's see here. Lady Twyla, hey. She said, thank you for sharing your journey. Seriously considering doing the same. If you don't mind, how long did it take and how many locks did you have? Excellent question, Twyla. I had 105 locks, and it took me 3 weeks to comb out all of my locks. I think I would have finished a little bit faster, but I got sick, and so I was down for about 4 days, and I did not comb out any. But it took me a total of 3 weeks and 1 day to comb out my locks. I officially finished combing out my locks on January 15th. And I am y'all. It took me almost an hour and a half each lock. And the more I did it, I was able to speed it up a little bit because I cut some of the lock and I just got a little quicker. I got used to doing it. I switched conditioners, and so it took me about 45 minutes to an hour each lock, right? So I just ain't finna do that again. The patience that it took for me to do that, y'all. It was some days I just wanted to cry. Girl, woo! Baby, I was the child. My hands was hurting. My fingers rubbed raw right here. Girl, look, never again. I cannot. Like, I literally wanted to cry every single day combing out my locks. And it was a lot, y'all. Do I regret combing them out instead of just cutting my hair? No, because I am enjoying the length that I have right now. And I'm so grateful that I patience myself enough to do it. It was such a gratifying moment of me combing out my locks. And I did the majority of them myself. I had a little bit of help a lot of help, because ain't nothing little about combing out locks. Let me be clear. I had help from one of my spiritual daughters, Latalia, and another one of my spiritual daughters, Bianca. They came over to the house and helped me. But the majority of the time, I committed to doing it to myself, because you can't ask people. Well, you can, but I felt really bad asking them to help me because I know that it was tedious. But thank you so much, Latalia and Bianca, for committing the time to come over and help me when you did. I really, really appreciate it. It took us a while, but we did it. Thank you for your question, Twila. Let me see, y'all. I think I have a few more questions that were asked. Mother underscore of two kings said, you inspired me to lock my hair about a year and a half ago. Oh, thank you. I'm so honored to inspire you. I started a few sets, but combed them out while there were baby locks. Bless your heart. This set I only started about 8 months ago, and I screenshotted so many pics of your hair and took them to my loctician. Aww, you were definitely my lock crush. Thank you. But I'm proud of you for just doing you, because you're very inspirational. This is touching my heart. Thank you. But my last question is, how long has it taken you to take down, and how long for each lock? Okay, thank you for your question. I just kind of answered those questions, but it took me about an hour. I averaged about an hour and a half each lock, and I had 105 locks. So it took me 3 weeks total to get them all out. But thank you so much for your question. Debbie Thompson said, hi, Kareem. Hi, Debbie. She said, I've been watching your lock journey for years, as you were my lock goals. Oh, thank you. When I started in 2020. Can't tell you how shocked I am to see you've decided to comb out your beautiful locks this year. I can only imagine the shock, y'all. And so I'm guessing my question is simply why. Would love to hear what was the turning point for you, and also curious if this is now becoming a trend, as I have recently seen a couple of other YouTubers also decide to end their lock journey. Thank you for your comment and your questions, Debbie. I don't necessarily think that it is a trend that people are combing out their locks. I think it's basically people are just making a decision. You know, some people lock their hair for the long haul, and they're committed to the lock journey. They say, I'm locked in, and that's their decision to wear their locks for a lifetime. And then for those of us that decide to comb out our locks, it's just a phase, you know. And I use that word phase loosely, because it's a transition for some of us. You never could have told me 6 years ago that I would comb out my locks. My goal for my locks was always waistline. And once I achieved that goal within the last year or so, I started to miss my loose natural hair. I started missing the versatility of styling. And although you all know I wore lots of styles with my locks, but it was nothing like just being able to pull your hair back in a ponytail, a bun, to slick it back, to be able to part through it. I mean, I just really miss handling my loose natural hair. As many of you may or may not know, I was loose natural for 7 years before I committed to my lock journey. And I just felt like, for me, I can only speak for me, that what I had to learn during my lock journey, I learned that what God was trying to teach me and how he was trying to grow me in self-acceptance, not worrying about what others thought about me, coming out of people pleasing, things like that, I had to learn during my lock journey. And I believe once I overcame those things, it was time for me to transition back to my loose natural hair. And so I can only speak for me and how my journey went. So the things that I knew that I needed to learn, I believe that I learned those things, and the growth that I needed to achieve, I believe I grew in those areas that I needed to. And so now I believe that me embracing my loose natural hair journey again is even more powerful, even more empowering for me, because I also inspired so many other women to just embrace their natural hair journey. And my lock content will not stop. I'm still going to talk about locks, because my son still has locks. He's 14 right now, and he started his lock journey a year ago. So his locks are thriving. They're so beautiful. Every time I look at him, I'm just like, oh my God, your hair is so beautiful. And I still will be doing lock content because I was locked 6 years. So there's things that I would have changed about my lock journey. There's things that I would not have done with the information that I know now. So I'm grateful for my lock journey. I'm so very grateful for the things that God taught me during my lock journey, the growth that I achieved. And I don't think that it's a trend. People make their decisions based upon their lifestyle. I shared in my previous video, and I want y'all to watch that video in depth about the reasons why I combed out my locks. In 2018, I went through a lot of grief. And since combing out my locks, I do feel a lot freer. I feel a lot lighter spiritually and physically. I was going through a lot of headaches, a lot of neck pain, shoulder pain, because my locks had gotten heavy the last 6 months of my journey. So watch that video because it's going to give you a lot of more details on why I combed out my locks. But I'm so very grateful to be an inspiration to so many women around the world. Some of you I have met, some of you I have never met, but you leave such beautiful comments letting me know how inspirational my journey has been. And I'm so grateful to be an inspiration. I used to get told all the time, you know, you make locks look so feminine. And that was a compliment for me because I understand the stigma that comes behind having locks. And I'm so grateful that my journey inspired so many of you to embrace your lock journey and even my loose natural hair journey. I know the women that have loose natural hair, I'm so excited to connect with all of you. And those of you that followed my YouTube channel before I even locked my hair, that followed me as a loose natural, I'm so excited about the possibilities and the opportunities that I'm going to have embracing my loose natural hair journey. Y'all stay tuned because the content is coming, y'all. Thank you for your question. Got one more, I think. Virtuously V89. Hey, girl. Y'all follow her on Instagram. She has a beautiful lock journey. She said, you inspired me to begin my lock journey, and I'm thankful for the helpful tips you've shared with us along the way. Thank you. Will you ever lock your hair again in the future? That is a consistent question. No, I do not think I would lock my hair again in the future. But thank you for your question. I think that is all of the questions that I received. Oh, I got one more. She asked another question. She said, Mother of Kings asked another question. She said, how has your texture changed pre and post lock? The only thing that I would say has changed is the softness of my hair. Y'all know because locks is basically shed/dead hair, locks are a lot coarser in texture and feeling. What I mean, the feel of the locks were a lot coarser. And then when I colored my hair, I had to really do work to keep my locks soft. And so now that my hair is loose, it is so soft, y'all. Like I have hand and hair syndrome all over again, y'all, because I'm always touching it, always like just rubbing it because it's just so soft compared to how my locks were. As far as my texture, it's still the same texture. It's still that curly, that kinky curly texture, 4B, 4A-ish in some spots. So it's still the same texture it was when I was loose natural. So my texture has not changed. Just the softness of it has changed since combing out my locks. As you went through your lock journey, do you think your locks edges got thinner with time? I do think that my locks started out a lot thicker than what they ended up. And I think that had something to do with just my parting system. But my roots did become a little bit thinner. And I'm not sure if that was a mixture between the retwisting technique that one of my locticians did and then the color that I got. So my goal now, and my roots are a whole lot thicker since combing out my locks, and I'm still strengthening my hair. So I'll be putting content out of me doing strengthening treatments, deep conditionings, hot oil treatments, things like that to restore the health of my locks, because combing out locks can be very traumatic to your hair strands. And I just want to make sure that the health of my locks, excuse me, I want to make sure that the health of my hair is back. So my goal for the next 6 months is healthy hair. Yes, I want to grow it. Yes, all of the things. I want to get long hair again, which is still long, is below bra strap. But my goal is not really the length right now, because I was able to obtain most of my length. My goal right now is the health of my hair. So y'all be taking you guys and ladies along a healthy hair journey. So I'm excited about that. And the last thing she said, if you ever lock again, would you get them larger or smaller, and why? Neither. Because I don't plan on locking my hair again. But I appreciate that question. Let's say hypothetically, I would probably go a little bit thicker. Because if I ever comb them out, baby, listen, I'm going to need to get them out quick. Listen to me. But I'm not doing it again. Bless y'all. But I think that is all the questions I had. And if I missed any, y'all please forgive me. Charge it to my head and not my heart. If you have any additional questions, I am excited to do a part 2. So I do not mind doing a part 2 if I have not answered the questions that's been burning on your heart. So leave me a comment below and let me know what your questions are. I love you all so much for watching. Please make sure that you subscribe and hit that notification bell if you have not already, and join the family. There'll be lots of content on my loose natural hair as well as lock content, because I will be sharing my son's lock journey with you and giving tips on Things to do and not to do, well, there's really no right or wrong answer. You can do what you want to do. It is your journey. And emphasis on the journey, because there'll be some path that you take that others won't. But be confident in what you're doing on your journey, because it is your hair. As always, I love you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.